Welcome to yoga. My name is Tiffany. Today we'll be working on stabilizing the wrists and the hands in asana postures with the offering of an intention of discerning discomfort from a healthy stretch and discomfort from pushing ourselves too far too soon, which might feel like pain, and backing out of that. Sticking with the discomfort coming from a nice healthy stretch. Take a comfortable sitting position. I'm sitting on a block. Tuck the tips of your fingers just at your thumb pads, very gently, and straighten the rest of your fingers. Rest your hands on your thighs, palms up for uplifting and down for grounding. Lean slightly back into your seat. Rise up from there. Close or soften your eyes and allow your belly to rise and fall with each breath. Lower your chin towards your chest. Start to blink your eyes open and stand up. Have your feet hip-width apart, parallel to one another. Root into your feet. Have your arms by your side, palms facing in. Lift your chest, stretch your spine. A nice way to lift your chest is by rotating your inner shoulders towards your outer shoulders, which looks something like this. Can be subtle. And also squeezing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades in towards your spine. Maintain those actions while rooting into your feet. The four corners of your hand, index knuckle, little finger knuckle, inner edge of heel, outer edge of heel. Join your palms overhead. Press the four corners of your palms together. Press your finger pads together with your fingers nice and wide. Lower your hands to your chest. Keep pressing the four corners of your palms together. Keep your fingers upright or turn them away from you. Continue to lift your chest. By pressing the four corners of our palm together, we may create a lift in our palm and at the center of the heel of our hand. Keep your hands like this, or point your fingers back upright and lower your wrists down further, but keep the two corners of your heels of your hands together. Keep your chest lifted and turn your fingers down and away from you. Our carpal tunnel, keep your hands as they are, keep working there, and I'll tell you that our carpal tunnel runs right through here, the center of the heel of our hand, and it is actual like a tunnel that a nerve runs through. So when we press on this area a lot, it can compress it and irritate the nerve. By pressing the four corners of our palms together, and our fingerprints together, we can strengthen our palms and maintain a lift in that area. Release your hands. Place your left hand on your hip, squeeze your left elbow back. Reach your right arm overhead. Close your fingers, point your palm to the left. Inhale, stretch up through the crown of your head while rooting down through your feet. Exhale, move your hips to the right, your head and chest to the left. In Uttanasana, crescent, you might look down, forward, or up. Keep some tone in your abdomen. Inhale, come up, switch sides, right hand on your hip. Squeeze your elbow back, left arm up, palm in, fingers closed. Inhale, stretch up through the crown of your head while rooting down through your feet. Exhale, move your hips to the left, your head and chest to the right. Look down, forward, or up. Inhale, come up. Lower your arms by your side. Come onto hands and knees. Arms and legs straight up and down. Knees under your hips. Notice where you naturally place your hands and take note of that. Then, if they're not already, have your middle finger lined up with the outer edge of your shoulders, your wrist creases parallel with one another and the short edge of the mat, and your fingers wide and even. By even, I mean the same amount of space between each finger. Now press your fingerprints into the mat, grip the mat with your fingerprints, press the four corners of your palms down or towards down, and press your hands down and back. And release. Try that again. Replace your hands. This time, try squeezing your index and ring fingerprints towards your thumb prints, working the four corners of your palms towards your mat, pressing your hands down and back, down and in. Exercising the forearms, strengthening the forearms here in the hands. Our hands are in an extended position. Release your hands. If this much extension is ever too much for your wrists, you might consider investing in 2 small ramps. You can ask me where to find them. I found some that look good. You may also consider investing in a glove that has a little padding at the heel of the hand, which will create a little lift. Or you may stay on your fingertips, which will strengthen your palms and forearms, or lower onto your forearms. You have a few different options to support yourself. Now let's do some finger push-ups. Find your hand position, middle finger lined up with your outer shoulder, wrist creases parallel with each other in the short edge of the mat. Press your fingerprints down, lift your wrists, lift your palms. Lift your wrist as high as you can and squeeze your fingers in toward one another. It's like you're gathering them up. And then lower your palms down. You can do this very well at a desk, table, or wall as well. Press your fingerprints down, lift your wrists, lift your palms, gather your fingers in, flatten your hands down. I think I might be a little more successful here if I lean my hips back on my heels. You might try that as well. Press your fingerprints down, the four corners of your palm. Lift your wrists, lift your palms, lift your wrist higher. Squeeze your fingerprints in. Yes, and flatten down. Let's do 2 more. Well done. Come back onto hands and knees. Have your fingers pointed forward or point your fingers towards your knees. Round your spine towards the sky, pull your chin towards your chest. Lower your spine down. Carefully help your fingers back forward. Take a comfortable sitting position. Reach your right arm forward, fingers pointing forward, palm in. Make a gentle fist with your hand like you're grabbing a staff, thumb on the outside. Then use your left hand to help curl your fingers and your palm in towards your forearm. Breathing into any resistance. That's a healthy stretch, a healthy discomfort. And backing out of any pain any instance of going too far, too fast. Release that hand. Switch sides. Left hand forward, fingers closed, palm facing in. Make a gentle fist, thumb on the outside. Use your right hand. Curl your fingers and your palm in towards your forearm, the flexor side of your forearm. Release. Back to hands and knees. Notice your hands. Line up your middle finger with your outer shoulder. Wrist creases parallel to each other and the short edge of your mat. Fingers wide and even. Grip the mat with your fingerprints. Work the four corners of your palm down. Maybe even squeeze your ring and index prints towards your thumb prints. Lift your ribs and your low belly away from the mat. Stretch your left leg parallel to the floor. Point your foot, flare your toes. Tone your left glutes, squeeze your outer hips in. Come onto your right fingerprints. Stay there or reach your right arm parallel to the floor. Notice your left hand. Find a supportive and stable position. Lower down, switch sides. Right leg parallel, point your foot, flare your toes, tone your right glutes, hug your outer hips in. Come onto your left fingerprints. Stay there or reach your left arm parallel to the floor. Lift your navel and your front ribs away from your mat. Lower down. Have your knees hip width apart. Move them back 6 to 8 inches. Notice your hands. Adjust them if needed. Tuck your toes, lift your knees. Lift your hips up and back. Adho, Mukha, Svanasana. Downward facing dog. Press the four corners of your palms down and forward. Lift your hips with the strength of your low belly and your legs. Squeeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades towards your spine. Come up onto your tiptoes. Move your shoulders over your wrists. For plank, keep your knees lifted or lower them. This is a great time to assess if maybe you should try one of the modifications on your forearms to help support your wrists, maybe with the ramps. Grip the mat with your fingerprints. Imagine lifting the center of your palm up. Shift forward onto your toes. Bend your elbows with a strong abdomen. Lower down to the front of your body. Extend your arms alongside your torso. Have your feet together or hip width apart. Turn your palms down. Press your palms down, which may help you lift your shoulders back. Turning your inner shoulders towards your outer shoulders. Squeezing the bottom tips of your shoulder blades towards your spine. Keep this engagement in your upper back. Release your hands. Flip your palms up and stretch them back towards your heels. Lower down, turn your head to the right. Bring your forehead back to center. Place your hands in line with your chest. Separate your fingers wide and even. Find your supportive and stable hand position. Move your inner shoulders towards your outer shoulders. Squeeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades towards your spine. Engage your upper back and curl your upper back up. Once you have some weight in your hands, consider pressing your hands down and back. Imagining your armpits extending forward, your chest extending forward. For Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Exhale, lower down, turn your head to the left. Come back onto hands and knees and make your way to down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Grip the mat with your fingerprints. Press all four corners of your hand towards your mat. Move your inner shoulders towards your outer shoulders. Squeeze the bottom tips of your shoulder blades towards your spine. Stay just like this, or consider lifting your right hand and placing it towards your right hamstring. Work to make your left hand supportive. Also use the strength of your legs and your core to keep lifting your hips up and back. Replace your right hand. Second side, lift your left. Bring it towards your left hamstring. Grip the mat with your right fingerprints. Replace your left hand. Bend your knees, look between your hands, walk forward. Have your feet hip width apart or together. Inhale, lift your chest up halfway, look forward of your hands. Lift your low belly. Extend your tailbone back, the crown of your head forward. And exhale, fold forward. Release your head and your neck. Keep as much bend in your knees as you need to. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift your chest up halfway. Exhale, step your left foot to the back of your mat. Feel free to place blocks under your hands here. Stack your back heel, your left heel over your toes. Extend back through your heel. Stand in all four corners of your feet. Even that back heel, imagine you're standing on it. Squeeze your thighs in. Cinch up in your low belly. So pull your low belly in. Maintain that. And the space between your shoulder blades, the back of your heart, extend forward. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Keep your hips and your legs as they are. Tone and turn your torso to the right. Reach your right arm vertical to the floor. Notice your left hand. Find a stable and supportive position. Lower your right hand down, step your left foot forward. Take a breath. Second side. Right foot back. Heel over toes. Stand in all four corners of your feet. Tone your glutes, squeeze your thighs in. Lift your low belly in and up. Extend forward from the back of your heart. You can even press your hands down and back here if they're in a supportive position. Place your left hand on your left thigh. Keep working your legs and your hips. Tone and turn your abdomen to the left. Reach your left arm up. Lower your left hand down. Step your back foot forward. Stand up. Find a wall. Place one hand at the wall. Line up your hand, the base of your hand with your shoulder. Separate your fingers wide and even. Have your wrist crease parallel with the floor. Make your arm firm, but not rigid. Press into your fingerprints and the four corners of your palm. Lift your chest, stretch your spine. Keep your arm firm. Turn your toes away from the wall. Your torso will also come. Keep pressing the four corners of your palm into the wall. Gripping the wall with your fingerprints like you're picking up a beach ball. Turn your toes back forward, switch sides. Other hand to the wall. Base of hand in line with your shoulder. Fingers wide and even, wrist crease lined up with, or parallel to the floor. Grip the mat with your fingerprints. Move the four corners of your palm towards the wall. Lift your chest, stand tall. Have your arm firm, but not rigid. Maintain that and turn your toes, which will bring your torso along, away from the wall. You may feel a stretch through your palm, your forearm, biceps, and or pecs here. Turn your toes back forward. Lower your arm, come back to the mat. Stand on your knees, face the long edge of your mat. Straighten your right leg long. Heel in line with left knee. Make your legs strong. Reach your arms out like a T. Have a block in your right hand if you have one and would like. Lower your right hand to the inside of your right leg. Stretch your left arm up and over beside your ear. Palm facing down, fingers closed. Root firmly into your legs. Tone your abdomen. Look down, forward, or up. Bakasana, gatekeeper pose. Continue to lift your chest. Inhale, come up. Second side. Left leg long. Block in your left hand. Arms out like a capital T or a T. Reach to the left. Lower your left hand. Reach your right arm up and over. Palm down, fingers closed. Make your legs strong. Lift your chest up. Move your inner shoulders towards your outer shoulders. Inhale, come up. Watch. Side plank or Prastasana variation. Supportive hand position. Outer edge of one foot. Maybe stack the ankles, maybe the top foot forward or really forward. Pressure lower hand down, the four corners of your palm, gripping the mat with your fingerprints, and imagine drawing it back, like we've been saying, towards your heel to engage some other supportive muscles. Let's try it. Find your plank position. This can be done on your forearm as well, if your wrists are just not extending this far today. Spin to the outer edge of your right foot. Stack your ankles or step your left foot forward or a lot forward. Keep your left hand on your hip or reach your left arm vertical to the floor. Press the four corners of your right hand down. Grip the mat with your fingerprints. Maybe even squeeze your ring and index fingerprint towards your thumb fingerprint. Press your hand down and back. Lower your left hand down, switch sides. Outer edge of left foot, right foot forward or a lot forward. Right hand on your hip or vertical to the floor. Notice your left hand. Do all the supportive and stabilizing actions, including moving your hand down and back. Lower your right hand down. Lower your knees. Have a seat on your heels, toes tucked under or not. Interlace your fingers, bring your arms overhead. Point your palms up. Start with a little bend in your elbows. Then move your front ribs in, knitting your low ribs towards your hip points, and start to move your arms towards straight. Carefully lower your hands down. Come onto hands and knees. Place your right knee at or just outside your right wrist. Straighten your left leg long. Left leg straight back in line with the center of your body, big toe pointed back. Feel free to place some support underneath your back knee. Make your legs supportive and strong. Fold forward. Rest your forearms on blocks or the mat. Find the action of pressing your forearms down and back. With that action, you can find an extending forward from the back of your heart. Tone your abdomen. Squeeze your knees down and in. Lift your chest up. Help your left knee in, your right knee back, switch sides. Left knee forward, to or just outside of your left wrist. Right leg straight back, big toe pointing straight back. Find a foundation in your legs, and then fold forward, placing your forearms on the mat or blocks. Squeeze your legs down and in. Tone your belly, maybe even find a cinching in of your low belly, and at the same time, extend the back of your heart forward while pressing your forearms down and back. Press the floor away from you to help your torso up. Walk your right knee in, join your left knee to your right. Step your right foot forward. Bring your hands on the inside of your foot. You might keep your back knee down or lift it. Place a blanket underneath it if it feels sensitive. Stay on your hands or lower onto your forearms for Uttana Prastasana, forearm lunge, also called lizard pose. Squeeze your thighs in, cinch up in your low belly, extend the back of your heart forward. Press your elbows down and back if they're resting on something. If you're on your hands, notice their position, their posture, and maybe press them down and back. Press your arms down to help your torso up. Right knee to left knee, left foot forward. Keep your right knee down or lift it up. Stay on your hands on the inside of your left foot or lower onto your forearms, mat or the block. This side's a little more stiff for me. Sometimes I get both forearms down. Sometimes I don't. Squeeze your thighs in, cinch up in your low belly. Extend the back of your heart forward as you press your hands or your forearms down and back. press the floor away from you to lift up. And find a squatting position. Knees bent, feet together for this one. Actually, I'm gonna grab my blanket. I was gonna say, feel free to place some support under your heels. And I'm gonna offer that to myself as well. Your heels might come down to the mat. And in that case, I'd say you don't need a blanket. Rest your triceps on your knees or inside of your knees. Lift your chest, extending the back of your heart up, squeezing your knees in. So, we've covered the supportive and stable hand placement. Fingers wide and even. Grip the mat with your fingerprints. Press the four corners of your palms down. You can up the ante by working your index and ring prints towards your thumb prints. Some other things we've added is pressing the hands down and back. Extending the back of the heart forward can also be supportive of all of those things because the shoulders work with the hands. So the next posture is Bakasana and Arm Balance, which often can put a lot of pressure on the wrists. Find your stable hand placement. Squeeze your thighs in, which is what we were just doing. Extend the back of your heart forward, lean forward, look forward, press your hands down and back, cinch up in your low belly. Maybe lift one foot and then the other. And lower down. And I would say you can use those stabilizing principles for most arm balancing postures. All right. Something to remember. The wrist stretches, yeah, everything, maybe, but the finger push-ups, if you feel like you might need some strengthening in your palms and the flexor side of your forearms, try it on a more regular basis, at the table, at the desk, at the wall. Palms flat, press your fingerprints down, lift your wrists and your palms up, gather your fingers. Do 5 to 10 at a time. Let's offer a little stretch of the flexor side of our hands. Place your right hand on your right thigh. Turn your fingers in. First, find a supportive seat. You might even sit in a chair. Then bring the thumb of your left hand to your index knuckle and use the other fingers to lift the index finger up. Keep a lifted chest. Looks like this. Next one, thumb at your middle knuckle. Lift your middle finger up, but keep your other fingers down. Thumb at your ring knuckle. Lift it up. Pinky knuckle. I usually turn my hand around so my thumb is facing out for the thumb. Left thumb at your right thumb knuckle. Lift the thumb up and towards your fingers. And then up and away from your fingers. Release your right hand, make a fist. Stretch it, make a fist. Stretch it, make a fist. Stretch it. Second side. Left hand, palm down, fingers in. Right thumb, index knuckle. Use the other fingers to lift your index finger up towards the back of your hand. Release. Middle finger. Release. Ring finger. Release. Pinky finger. Release. Thumb. Lift it up and towards your fingers. up and away from your fingers. We have 3 joints in our fingers and only 2 in our thumb. The thumb can move in more directions. Release your thumb, make a soft fist, stretch your fingers, make a soft fist, stretch your fingers, make a soft fist, stretch your fingers. Lie on your back. If you have blocks, keep them close by. Place your feet at the outer edges of your mat. Open your arms out like a capital T with your palms facing up. Lift your hips up and a few inches to the left, then lower them back down. Let your knees move over to the right. Double diamond. Keep your gaze up or turn it to the left. Stay just like this if this is what you need, or place the sole of your right foot on your left thigh and stand on it. Release your right foot. If you lifted it up, lift your knees, recenter your hips, and then move them a few inches to the left. Be sure your feet are still wide, and lower your knees over to the left. Keep your gaze up or turn it to the right. Keep your feet just as they are, or place the sole of your left foot on your right thigh. Stand on your right thigh to extend the knee away from you. Release your left foot, lift your knees, recenter your hips. If you have a block, grab it, lift your hips up, and slide the block underneath your tailbone, the lowest point of your spine. Move your shoulders more onto your back and allow your weight to be fully supported on the block. If you do not have a block, stand on your feet, lift your hips up, grip the outer edges of your mat and pull apart, or interlace your fingers underneath your hips. You might release your hands and lower your hips, or stand in your feet. Remove your block. Lower your hips down. Hug your knees into your chest. Recline child's pose. Maybe make circles with your knees, rock side to side. And then Shavasana. If you're near a chair or a wall, a sofa, anything to prop your calves in, feel free to do that. Or with the wall, you bring your legs up the wall. Or stretch your legs long. Allow your feet to fall away from one another. Have your arms a few inches or more away from your torso, with your palms facing up. Or rest your hands in a comfortable position on your torso. Relax your feet and your ankles. Relax your hands and your wrists. Rest the tip of your tongue just behind your front teeth. And really allow your belly to rise and fall with each breath. Staying in Shavasana for 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you for sharing this practice with me.